Hey guys. Hey friends. Hey friends. Hey friends. Hey friends. So I just wanted to go live. I wasn't able to go live yesterday, so I wanted to go live. I wanted to go live today and talk about the economic cycles. We have these economic cycles. We have these things called economic cycles. And unfortunately, in school, we did not learn about the economic cycles, unfortunately, right? We didn't learn about it. So we have to now learn about the economic cycles through trial and error. Okay, we got to learn about the economic cycles, through trial and error. Okay, so let me go here. Live here. Okay. So the economic cycles, right? So if you only have a job and your job is your only income, that is taking care of everything, your bills, your children's school, insurance, mortgage, food, everything, right? So if that one job is taking care of everything and you lose that one job, it's over, right? You can't pay anything anymore, right? Now you're scrambling to find out ways to get money, right? And then if inflation happens, right, you don't have money either, right? To now weather the storm, right, of that either. So it's a lot to know, it's a lot to learn, right? But the foundation, and I want you guys to really understand this, the foundation is setting yourself up, right? Setting yourself up. The foundation is setting yourself up to keep winning, not just win one time, to keep winning. So the foundation is handling risk, right? A lot of people don't want to take risk. They're scared to take risk. But if you don't take risk, you're going to end up having to take risk forcibly, anyway, right? So a lot of people don't like to take risk willingly. So they have to end up forcing themselves to take, risk when they don't want to, when they don't feel good, right? So understanding, right, that there's risk in life. The risks are I can get sick. That's a risk. I can get into a car accident. That's a risk. I can lose my job. That's a risk. I can lose my house, right? I can lose my mind, right? Anything can happen, right? So those are risks. So we have to understand how to transfer these risks, right? And the way that we transfer risk, right, in economic downturns is through insurance, right? And there's something called whole life, permanent life, IULs, right? You guys can look that up. Whole life, permanent life, and IULs, okay? Those are policies that helps to transfer the risk of anything happening. So in the economic cycles, right, the wealthy continues to build on their wealth. The poor ends up losing more of their wealth every time there's a new cycle. Why? Because they're not transferring risk. They're taking on all of the risk for themselves, right? Unwillingly, right? Until they're forced to do it, right? See, I study wealthy people, so I understand, what they're doing. And I also understand what poor people do too, right? So taking on the risk, right, is you taking on the risk of you being sick, you getting rid of your job, firing you, anything happening, you losing your savings, inflation, everything is a risk. So if you don't have something to transfer those risks to, you're taking on everything, right? So in these economic cycles, we have to understand that the risk is now higher, right? The risk is now higher in these economic cycles, right? So it's more high of a chance that you lose your job. It's more high of a chance you're going to get sick. It's more high of a chance that you're going to lose your mind. It's more high of a chance you're going to lose your retirement. It's more high of a chance you could lose your house, right? So it's more higher of a chance within a economic cycle that these risks will now happen, right? So I'm educating you guys on things that we should have learned, right, in school. This is stuff literally that they teach in college economics, right? People that's getting a PhD. This is the stuff that they teach. Right? So we got to understand risk. Right now, inflation is through the roof. Interest rates is through the roof. How are you transferring that risk? How are you transferring that so that in case you lose your job, you still can have money coming in and you still can have your bills paid? A lot of people, well, a lot of poor people, what they do is they have savings. Their savings account is what they now use, right, to now say, okay, well, my savings account is going to help me to survive right now. But what happens after you no longer have savings? So the thing about money is that if it's not coming in and you using the money, it's going to go real quick, right? So we need things, assets like insurance, to be able to transfer the risk, right? Transfer the risk of things happening that's unpredictable in our life. So if we get sick, you may have your job that has insurance for you to pay you out through FMLA or, through Geico or whatever they call it, Aflac or whatever they call it, right? But that's temporary, and that's only a portion of your income. So how do you make up your other income, right? It's hard. Right? Because if you don't have insurance in place, it's very hard, right? So we got to understand how to transfer risk, and insurance does that, right? Whether it's disability insurance, whether it's accidental insurance, whether it's building your own bank. I've been building my own bank for 4 years. I wish I would have started sooner, right? But I've been building my own bank for 4 years, and that transfers risk. If I need money, guess what? Or if business is slow this week or business is slow this month, I can now take a loan from myself and not even pay it back. If I get sick with cancer or diabetes, whatever, and I can't work, my insurance company will now tap into my death benefit to be able to pay me every single month until I get better, right? So that's transferring the risk. Or if I just need some money, right? If I just need some money because I want some money, I want to go on a vacation, guess what? I can now use my insurance, right? So we got to understand these cycles, and we got to understand how to transfer risk. So now China, Brazil, Russia, Africa, literally all 4 of them literally are getting rid of the almighty American dollar. So now that's another risk, right? Because once they do that, that means American dollar will no longer be the standard. And America owes too many people, and America has destroyed too many countries. So America dollar is dying. So what these countries are saying, we can do better than America. So that's exactly what they started to do. So while everybody's worried about TikTok and, TikTok getting banned, which don't even matter to you, is not paying your bills anyway, right? These countries are now starting to trade and band together and getting rid of the dollar. So what does that mean for Americans? If we can no longer trade with China and all of these different countries, where will we get our goods from? If we're not making it in America, where will we get our goods from? Walmart will be out of business immediately. Target, all of these places will be out of business right away. And that means people will be right out of jobs right away, immediately, right? And then if America decides to start producing raw materials in America, now the price is going to be through the roof and nobody can afford it. So you think COVID and the pandemic was bad. This move that these countries made is going to make the pandemic look like it was a water park ride. So I want you guys to really start thinking, right? Stop scrolling on social media and just praying and wishing. Stop. Oh, I wanted to start a business and I didn't start the business. Oh, I wanted to do this and I didn't do it. I wanted to, get some life insurance and I didn't. Do everything now. Get in the habit of doing things now and taking action now and moving forward now so you can win now. Who knows what's coming down the pipeline? We already see banks collapsing. People losing their 6-figure, 7-figure jobs. And they can't find another 6 or 7-figure job nowhere because AI has literally taken over. So this is real stuff. I'm spitting real facts. And if you do not wake up, or if we don't wake up as a society, it's going to be the lost society where nothing is going to happen for us, right? And we're not going to be able to move forward. And then it's going to be something like quicksand where we're slowly fading away. So transfer your risk, friends, to insurance. That's what it's for. You're going to lose your job at some point. You're going to get sick at some point, right? You may lose your home at some point, right? So you want to transfer those risks, right? And then pay attention to the real news, what's going on in the economy. The banks are collapsing. That is a sign to take your money out the bank, right? Jobs are being lost. 6- and 7-figure jobs are being lost. People went to college to pay $100,000 to get a 7-figure job, and now their job laid them off, and now they can't get a 7-figure job nowhere ever, because now AI has taken over that 7-figure job. So it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to know. It's a lot to understand. But if you're transferring risk, right, and you're making sure you're securing your mental health, right? Again, this move that China and Brazil made, and Russia just paid off Africa's debt to America. So now Africa's in debt to Russia. So they don't even care about America anymore, right? And if all the countries start saying, you know what? We're going to trade with China and Brazil too, and get rid of America altogether, guess what? Now America's against the wall. We already $32 trillion in debt. Now what would be a good thing is if all countries started trading with one another and got rid of the dollar. America, right? America can literally wipe out all the debt. They could wipe out all your college loans, all your house loans, all your car notes, personal loans, business loans, all that. But then unfortunately, there will be no more credit. There will be something called social score where now they base on your behavior, right? And not your credit. So if that really happens, are you prepared for that too? Are you prepared for the social score? And if you're not prepared, right? And if you're not prepared for the social score, ask yourself, then what am I really preparing for? Are you stacking your cabinets with food? Because there's going to be a food shortage. Philly and Flint already have water shortages already. And it's not far from your state or your city, right? So we got to get prepared, guys. Get you some insurance, right? Get you some insurance. My girl, Lindsay, life insurance book on Amazon, right? She talks about life insurance. You can schedule consultation with her. She was one of the ladies that I did the Women's History Month with. Go and, watch it and what she talks about, right? So you can get some real knowledge. And now is the time to be getting financially educated. Now is the time, my friends, to be getting financially educated, not just scrolling on social media and playing and bullshitting, right? Now is the time to get financially educated so that you can understand the next cycle, because the world has these cycles, the economic cycles. They come every 10 years, every 15 years, right? So now you can be prepared, right, for the next cycle, right? Even if you talk about this in the Bible, there's going to be 7 good years. There's going to be 7 bad years. But are you preparing in the good years for the bad years? Because you can't prepare in the bad years. right? So are you preparing? Right? When everybody was getting all that money from COVID, right? Everybody was getting all the stimulus checks. Were you preparing for 2023 when everything is going to the dogs? And if you wasn't, that means now you don't know something about money. You don't know something about wealth. You don't know something about transferring risk. You don't understand something about building wealth. Because what's going to happen is the wealth is going to keep getting wealthy because real estate is going to be cheaper, assets are going to be cheaper, and the people that got the money, they just want to buy it up. And the people who don't got the money, they're going to be selling off all their stuff. And their wealth going to go down, and the wealthy just keep getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. You got to make sure you're in a position to get wealthier. Okay? Get wealthier. That's the point, right, of it. So I wanted to drop this, in you guys' spirit. Be aware of what's going on. Get yourself some insurance to transfer the risk of the things that's unseen or unforeseen in your life. All right. And then understand that if America was the number one, and now China and Brazil say we're going to trade with one another and we're getting rid of American dollar, it only takes one country to say we're done with America for everybody else to follow suit. Now, America's going to have to get rid of credit. So that means there ain't going to be no more credit. So that's good because now your credit is wiped out. You don't owe anything. But now it's a social score. So now you're not going to be able to go to the mall because they don't want you to go. Now you're not going to be able to travel because they feel like you don't deserve to go. Now you can't go to the movies because they're going to feel like you don't deserve to go. The rich get richer and the poor gets poorer in these economic cycles. So make sure you guys are following me on all platforms, on Instagram, TikTok, and this is all I talk about. Money, wealth building. That's why I got my book out. You can pre-order right now. It hasn't been distributed to different outlets yet. It will be, but if you haven't ordered, you can click on the link in the bio and order pre-order your book, for yourself, for your children, and then also too, get into the class. I have a class that's $27.99 a month, and we focus on money, right, and mitigating risks and understanding transference of risk. So, happy, what's today, Thursday? Shit, I don't know the day. Happy Thursday, guys, and I'll see you guys in the internet land. Peace.